could take a drink, but it's okay. I could take a drink and park. Well, don't start yet. I'm already. You can just put it. Open the door. I come get it. Woo. Let me make sure I'm good. Hey. What's going on? How you doing? Hey, let me get on TikTok real quick. Ooh. Hey, guys. What really happened over there? Lord. I can not stand TikTok. I hope y'all are doing good. Let me get logged into my TikTok real fast. TikTok trying to trip. Let me make sure this is my right page. Okay. Thanks, girl. I'm coming. Miss Paula. I hope you're doing good. Ooh. I can work for something, okay? My husband, my future one, okay? So let me get myself together. And all right. So I'm gonna give everybody just a couple minutes. Miss Paula, I hope you've been doing okay. I haven't heard from you in a while. So if you want to send me a text or something, please let me know what's going on with you. So we're gonna talk to the IRS tonight. So let me let a couple people get in there. Y'all know I get hot. Y'all know that so I gotta make sure I'm nice and cool off, so y'all won't be talking about my face is shiny. I'm trying to see if I can set this up on something. It's okay. Hey, Carla. We're gonna talk about a couple things that might. I'm trying to think. Do I even want to say it here on this online? I probably don't. But we'll see if we get up to it. Okay. I am doing well, Miss Paula. I hope you are as well. Okay. So it is Monday. Thank y'all for being here. I know it is right before the holidays. Let me get this put up here real quick because I feel this is a little too short. I went ice skating the other day, me and my big old age. And let me tell you, I bust that ASS a bunch of times. Okay. So to whoever can ice skate, and to those girls in the Olympics, they be ice skating, man, my hat is off because one, my feet was hurting because I'm not used to that little bar go down the middle of your foot. And I just failed because I just couldn't do it. Okay. So, hey, TikTok, if you're here, hit the like button so we can share it with other people. We're going to talk about the IRS tonight a little bit, just because before you guys know it, it's going to be tax season time. And depending on who you're dealing with for your taxes, it might already be tax season time for you. So I'm going to get into that in a little bit. And as usual, hey, Miss Loretta, please drop your questions. I know y'all have them. Hey, Lisa. So y'all make sure y'all drop whatever questions you have so that I can answer them, especially if it's pertaining to the IRS. Of course, it can be other stuff as well. Y'all know I talk about credit and all those good things. So I'm available to answer those questions too. And I'm going to tell y'all some of the phone calls that I've gotten from you guys who watch. Thank y'all for reaching out. Just so I can give y'all some information, because not everybody wants to talk about their personal business here with everybody listening. So I like to bring that back to you guys. So again, thank y'all for being here. It's Monday and it is right before Thanksgiving. So I hope you guys have had a chance to go and get y'all groceries. Okay. Even though everything is stupid high, y'all gonna have to make the best Thanksgiving you can, okay? And even if you got to do that with ham versus turkey because it's too high, believe you me, I understand. And what some of y'all should have been doing is getting and finding out what these turkey giveaways are, so that y'all get y'all free turkey, okay? Because I have definitely been eyeing where they're giving out the free turkeys, okay? And most of the tax places give out free turkeys. Why? Because they want your business. All right. So let's get on it really quick. For those who want to know, because somebody did inbox me and ask about Christmas loans. Okay. So if you have a tax preparer, I even do it with my own clients. So if you are one of my clients, and just so y'all know, in about 2 weeks, all the banks who are linked with tax preparers will be giving out the Christmas loans. So I understand that people are short on their money. I get it. But most people are going to take a cash advance anyway. So if you're going to take a cash advance when you do your taxes, you might as well go and get you a Christmas advance so that you can get some money in, so that you can get them kids some gifts. Now, in case y'all want to know, the most they're going to be giving is about $500. Okay. Now, no, you can't go out there and go balling and get any and everything that you want. Okay. No, that's probably not even enough for a PS5, but it is something. Okay. So that's right. Tough Love said, hit the like button, y'all. Please hit the like button on Twitter and YouTube. Okay. So in about 2 weeks, if you have a tax preparer that you go to, please ask them about those Christmas loans, because they are going to be available. They are up to $500. And I'm just going to let you know now, if you have not been able to get approved for an advance when you do your regular taxes, chances are you're probably not going to get approved for the Christmas loan. I am talking to people who normally get an advance. Okay, if you normally get an advance, you can get an advance now. You do not have to worry about how do I want to say it? You can get the Christmas advance. If you go and file your taxes, you can apply for another advance. That's what I wanted to say. You can apply for your regular advance, but they are going to factor in the fact that they gave you $500, and you have to have good credit, because they are going to check it. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect credit, but at least it needs to be decent, because the bank wants to know that you're going to pay them back. All right, so that's first and foremost. Let's get that out the way. Again, for anybody that just came, please drop your questions if you have them. Going forward, IRS has been putting out a lot of stuff. Okay, so first and foremost, and I don't know why they put out stuff so doggone late, but if you guys use the IP pin, the identification pin, to put in that 6-digit code that they send you in the mail, Friday, which is crazy, was like the last day that you had to request it so that you can get it early. So if you are an individual that receives the IP pin and you did not go in the system and request one early, you are not going to get one until late January, if not February. So I know a lot of people are probably upset about that, but the IRS has changed it. They want you to go and request it so that you can get it early. If not, you will have to wait until they mail them out. Now, if your address is not correct, and I should not have to say this, but I say this every single year, if your address is not correct, update your address. Okay, you can update your address with IRS real easy. All right, and I'm gonna read y'all questions in a minute. Somebody, because I know you're gonna say, well, how do I update my address? Do not send in an address form to the IRS. All you need to do is go to your tax preparer. Okay, or you can holler at me. You go to your tax preparer and basically you just say, I need to update my address. And all they need to do is just go in the system and change your address. And they can, and this is for people who have not necessarily filed, you can e-file to get your address updated. If you haven't done that, you can also amend your taxes, because a lot of y'all have already amended. A lot of you have already gotten your refund, so you're not going to be waiting on anything additional. So you can amend your taxes to put your updated address and e-file it so that they have it. So if they have to send you anything, they already have it. If you try to mail the IRS your form with a new address, chances are it is not going to take. This has happened every single year, but it doesn't usually take. So I would strongly suggest you guys just have somebody e-file your taxes. They can amend it. And when you're amending your taxes, you do not have to change any numbers. You can just change your address, and your tax preparer is supposed to put in the reason, the box that asks the reason why you amended your taxes. All they have to put is that they are updating your address. That is it. That's the easiest way to do it, by being e-filed, because it's already electronically in the system. Okay. So You guys will be surprised at how many people do not get their IP pin. They have to call and wait for it. That takes months and months to get. Some of y'all are not even getting y'all returns until March, April, because the IRS is taking their time because you didn't do what you needed to do. So please make sure that y'all are doing that. All you got to do is amend. Very easy. Okay. John says, hey, Miss Shamika and everyone. Hey, John. Divine Tommy says, you briefly spoke on a way to turn business credit into cash a few weeks ago. Can you explain a little more on this, please? Yes, ma'am. So Cash Divine wants to know how you turn business credit into cash. Easy. All right. So if you have a business credit card, okay. So, and I'm going to do a bunch of different examples. If you got a business credit card, you can easily turn it into cash by simply finding someone who has an invoice, the ability to invoice you, to bill you. So that could be anybody that has Square, that has Stripe, QuickBooks, anything like that. They can easily send you an invoice for whatever amount that is. Then they're going to charge you. So say you got a $10,000 card and you only want $2,500. Well, I invoice you for $2,500. What happens then? I swipe that card, or I punch in your information, or once I send the invoice, you pay it through through the invoice. Then the money goes to the individual that you're paying. Okay, so say I sent you an invoice, you pay the invoice of $2,500. The $2,500 does come to me. Now I'm gonna tell y'all how some people are doing it. I'm just keeping it real. Some people are gonna say, all right, I'll give you $2,500, but you got to pay me X, Y, and Z. And let me tell you why. They are not wrong for doing that. They're not wrong for doing that because that $2,500, even though that person is giving it to you, it's going to show up as income for that person, and they have to pay taxes on that money. So the least you could do is make sure you at least give them 25 or 30%, whatever that is, that of that $2,500, so that they have that money in case they got to pay taxes on that income. Okay. That's one way to do it. That's the way a lot of people do it. I'm just going to keep it real. A lot of people do it through invoicing. You could do it through buying items and then selling them. Some of y'all who have business credit, you can use your net 30s, your net 60s, your net 90s, whatever accounts that you have. Go and get those items on your account. You get those items on your account, you can then sell it to somebody else. Okay. That's one way to turn it into cash. Another way is, golly, I think those are probably the two biggest ways. I mean, you can do other things, like if you have a contract, you can do factoring, but you go through an actual company to do factoring to get money back. I don't know if some of y'all want to do that. Me personally, I think factoring is very, very expensive. So I would just suggest, if you needed the money right away, then just have somebody invoice you, you pay the bill, then they turn around and give you the money. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why I like it this way. I like it this way because you, golly, why do I like it this way? I like it this way because you could take care of the taxes. Okay. So the other person who is actually charging it, you're going to give them the taxes. And also the interest is cheaper, and it's not a cash advance. Okay. So if you were to do a cash advance, like go to your bank, and I don't know if y'all know this, but you can actually go to your bank and say, hey, I want to do a cash advance. The bank does the same exact thing I'm telling y'all to do with the invoice. You go to your bank and say, I need $2,500. They're going to swipe that card. They're going to hit you with a high interest rate. Your credit card company is, because it's going to be considered a cash advance, but the bank gets their fee, and then they give you your $2,500. So out of that $2,500, you probably are going to pay $27,000. Okay. So they're going to get a couple $100 out of you, but you can also do the same thing peer-to-peer, business to business. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Now, another thing you can do, and banks absolutely do not like this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. And when I say banks, I mean credit card companies. They hate when you do this. If you have the ability to bill yourself, okay, so if you have a business credit card and your business credit card has one name, but your Stripe or your whatever merchant you use, the merchant company you use, if it has a different name, because some of us have multiple businesses, you can invoice yourself and pay your own self and keep the middleman out of it 100%. Banks just don't like when they see your name on the card and then they see your name on the business, which is why when you have a business, it needs to be in the business name, not your personal name. Y'all know I always tell y'all to separate the two, separate the business from the personal. And this is one of the reasons why, because if you ever need to borrow money, you can borrow it from yourself, okay, just by swiping your own card. And as long as the names are different, then you are okay. Banks don't like it, but they also have to prove that it was you doing it to you. And most time they're not going to do it unless, one, you're doing it a whole bunch of times and it's starting to look fraudulent. That is starting to happen a lot, especially with individuals who got like Cash App accounts. No, you can't cash yourself out of Cash App, but Cash App is basically trying to close each and every account that they think looks suspicious. So if you have somebody putting some money in your account, somebody depositing money from another country, you're having a lot of transactions, because you're helping somebody else, be mindful that Cash App is paying attention and they are shutting down a lot of accounts. Okay. You're welcome, Divine. Let me see if anybody asks me any questions here on TikTok real quick, because I am going to get back to this IRS stuff because I do want y'all to know what is going on. And again, if y'all got any questions, please ask. Sean says, I'm upside down in a Toyota I no longer want. If I sell, I'm in the hole, maybe $7K. I want to sell and upgrade to a Benz, even if I have to ride a bucket for 6 months. Any advice? Yeah. So if you have a vehicle and you are upside down, well, this is the unfortunate part. Most time when you sell that vehicle, y'all hit the like button too. Okay. Thank you, Tough Love. So if you sell a vehicle that you are already upside down in or on, when you go to get another vehicle, they may pay off that vehicle. But unless this vehicle has the ability to hold its value, you're gonna be upside down in the next vehicle too. So that's the only downside of when you're upside down, is because it's very difficult to turn yourself right side up. So a Benz is not a bad idea, because Benz, they hold their value. Pickup trucks hold their value. You're gonna have to start looking at, vehicles that hold their value for a long time, so that over the life of the loan, that $7,000 won't matter that much. Oh God, thank you. As my sister said, Lexus holds their value too. Okay, so you have to look at cars that hold their value, and if you're going to trade it in on a car like that. Do not trade in one Toyota for another Toyota. No offense to anybody that has a Toyota, but they definitely don't hold their value as well as certain other vehicles. Now, maybe if you get a Toyota Tundra because it's a pickup truck, but you're going to need to look at the life of it. Trucks definitely hold their value forever, which is why I got one, because I can hold it for 10 years and still sell it for a good price versus if I had a sedan. Okay. But if it's a Benz, if it's a foreign car, that's different. Okay. So it's kind of the same thing. And you says, I want to sell and upgrade. Now, if you can sell and make up the difference of that car, fine. I don't know. We'd have to look at the value of the car and what you're trying to sell it for and how much you have left on the car to be able to determine. But if no matter what, you are upside down, I would look to go to a dealership that's going to pay off that loan, get me up out of being upside down, and then just get a car that's going to hold its value. You may pay a little more. You should, because hell, you came in with a $7,000 deficit. So you're probably going to pay a little bit more than other people would be for the same car. But over the life of the loan, I believe it works itself out. So if anybody else got anything, please add. But that's what I would say to do. Don't get rid of it. Not right away. Hey, Ramona. It says, if a person can't get a bank account anywhere, what can they do so they can get an account? Well, if you cannot get a bank account, that's a good question. If you cannot get a bank account, y'all need to determine, why can't you get a bank account? Did you check TeleCheck? Did you check early warning systems? Did you check it's TeleCheck, early warning systems, and it's a third one. Oh gosh, it'll come to me. It's in my phone. So if you can't get a bank account, which is surprising, a lot of people cannot get a bank account, then you need to find out why you can't get one. That's my first question I'm gonna ask anybody. Why can't you get one? And you know what a lot of people tell me? I don't know why. You know why. And if you don't know why, check system. That's it. So early warning systems, TeleCheck, and check systems. They all have a consumer report that you can pull. Hey, Nicola, you can pull that consumer report for free. And it will tell you on there why you cannot get a bank account. It could be something as simple as I didn't pay my last bank account and they flagged me and now no other bank wants to do business with me. Or it could be the main reason why I hear a lot of people are not able to get bank accounts because y'all let somebody run a play through your account. And if you don't know what the play I'm talking about, I don't know if y'all remember, everybody was like, hey, you got a bank account? Let me use your account and I'm going to give you 500 on whatever. They'll give you a certain amount to use your account. That fraud has been exposed and banks are shutting you down if you get caught with that. I told you guys, my niece, her Bank of America balance after somebody did whatever they did was like $800,000. And it's like, how did you allow, that's what we said to the bank, how did you allow an account to be overdraft this much without, having some red flags go off? And no matter what, they blame my niece. So if this happens to you, you need to file a police report for identity theft. Okay. In most cases, some people don't, know who used it. Some people know they just gave their account to somebody. They don't know who used it. So you can file an identity theft report, turn it into the bank to see if that will allow you to get a bank account. If not, you can always use the second chance banking, which is Chime Bank, which is Cash App. They have a lot of second chance banks. Okay. They can be the Green Dot card, any prepaid card that comes with a routing and account number. Some of y'all, when y'all get y'all advances for taxes and TikTok, y'all make sure y'all share this so we can get these viewers up. You guys will see that if you get an advance, some cash advances when you do with your tax company, you get a debit card. That debit card comes with a route and an account number. So you are more than welcome to use that account, that card, as your debit card. Now, if you are an individual that receives any type of federal payment, disability, you receive Social Security disability, military disability, any kind of government payment, okay, you can apply. The government has their own little debit card. It's called First Federal. I got to give y'all the name, but it's a free debit card. All you have to do is change your federal or your government payments to this bank. Okay. And it's not a bank you can walk in. It's basically, they give you a card. This is what you use. If you lose the card, that's the unfortunate part. You have to wait for them to send you another one. Okay. Because there's no bank that you can go into, but that is one way to get a free bank account if you're unable to get one. Okay. So I have my friend, she's been using it for years. I hate it. I keep telling her to go get her a regular bank account because there's no reason that she doesn't have a bank account. She just is used to using this one. So if you guys did not know, and if y'all need that information, let me know. Send me a message at the website, or you can send me a text if y'all got my number, or you can just email me at shamikasaves@gmail.com and I'll send you the information so you can sign up. Okay. Nobody these days should not have a bank. Okay. Even though they be all in our business, nobody needs to not have a bank account. Okay. Because where your money going when you get your tax refund? Okay. Because they ain't paying in cash. So you definitely need a bank account. Good question, Ramona. Okay. And anybody else, you got a question, please drop that. And then I'm about to talk about this IRS real quick. So I let you guys know already that if you have not gotten your IP pin will be coming late. All right. Because the IRS matter of fact, they're going to shut down shortly for about a month, and they will not open back up until it is time to do taxes. So you will not be able to get anything out these people. Matter of fact, the website has been down a lot because they've been doing maintenance. All right. If you have not created your, if you have not created your PIN, your account at irs.gov, you need to, okay? I keep stressing this all the time to create your account. If you got a business, you need to create that account so you can get into your business, so you can see your transcripts. A lot of you guys are not paying attention, but the IRS is paying attention, okay? So here is, let me tell y'all what they're doing. So a few things. So I told you they're going to be looking, okay? I told you that infrastructure bill gave them a lot of money. So they are now looking, because computers are updated and they paying attention to every little thing going on. All right. So one of the things that y'all probably have noticed that happened last year, and you didn't even notice you were in this program, but they got something called a return review program. This return review program is why a lot of you guys last year did not get your tax refunds on time. A lot of y'all were like, I applied for, I filed my taxes. I still haven't gotten my refund. Well, you probably didn't get your refund because you fell into the return review program. Now, I used to call it a desk audit. Okay. And basically what that is your return looks suspicious for whatever reason that is. Okay. For whatever reason that is. And I'm going to tell you some of the reasons why. And when your return looks suspicious, the computer, okay, because this is not people doing this anymore. This is now AI technology who is going to be handling the majority of your taxes. If it looks suspicious to them, meaning they're going to look over the history of your tax filings, they're going to look at your 1099s, and if anything is missing, something's not correct, which means you guys need to start looking at the social security numbers, especially if you're going to somebody new. If you're going to somebody new, and especially if you got kids, it is very easy to mix a 5 and an 8. Okay, it is. Sometimes you type it fast, you don't know. You just putting in numbers you think you see that's not really there. One little thing will put you in the return review program, and now it's going to be months before you get your refund. So you want to make sure on your part and your tax preparer's part that everything that you submitted is in. But you also, and I'm talking to y'all, not the tax preparers, you need to make sure that you logged in to your irs.gov account so that you can see what was turned in under your name. I told you guys I had a guy that came to me, and one company put that they paid him $47 million, but it was a mistake. And then they ended up putting in another W-2 for the $47,000, but they never removed the $47 million. So what's going to happen? Now, the IRS could probably assume it's a mistake, but they didn't correct the person who put it in didn't correct it. So now when he files, he's going to have an issue. So y'all have to go and check these 1099s. Meaning you got to go and check your paperwork, meaning you need to log into the irs.gov, and you need to check those W-2s, not the W-2s they send y'all, which is good to check those too, but compare them to what they have in the system, because what the IRS has is what matters. Your W-2 can say anything, but whatever they sent to IRS is what they are going by. That is how you can stay out of this return review program. Make sure those numbers match. Make sure those social security numbers match. If you are claiming children that you have not, and I'm gonna get to your question in a minute, Mahalia. If you are claiming children that you have not claimed previously, you're gonna go into the return review program. Period. Okay. Why? Because the return review program was created because there's so much identity theft. Okay, so much, and partly it's because of the IRS. Why? Because they go by the rule: whoever puts the social security number in first wins. Okay. So back to this Christmas advance. So say you guys do a Christmas advance and you get your advance. Okay. If your returns accepted with the bank, they give you the advance. You can't turn around in January, let somebody else claim the person that you put on your taxes when you got this Christmas advance. So once you put that social in, it's locked. Nobody else can use it. This is why people who steal children, and I don't mean physically stealing them, I mean stealing the social security numbers. This is how they're able to do it, because they know whoever puts that social in first wins. So if I just wanted to be a scammer one day and said, I'm going to take all these kids and put all their information in, none of y'all can file your children, even though y'all had them. Now, to me, the IRS keeps saying that, oh, everybody's doing identity theft. Well, y'all not making it that difficult for people to not do it, okay? Because of that stupid behind rule. So if you plan on, and goes back to the baby mamas and baby daddies, people be fighting for who's going to claim these kids. So remember, whoever goes first, and has that social in first wins. Whether you're doing it legally or illegally, the rules still apply. Okay. So any questions, drop them. But I answer Mahalia's question. Mahalia says, if I live with my son and I get SSDI, can he claim me on his taxes? Yes, he can. And this is for anybody. This is one of the things that y'all miss a lot. So Mahalia, your son can claim head of household, and you are his dependent. Absolutely. And I always like to let you guys know, if y'all have somebody that lives with you and they're on Social Security disability, a lot of the older people are afraid to get claimed on taxes because they think, oh my God, if you file for me on your taxes, you're gonna mess up my Social Security payment. That is not true. Okay, you are head of household. Your son's responsible for you. You live with him. He takes care of you, and your Social Security. And this is no offense, but it's most time it's non-taxable. So the only person that knows you're making that money is the IRS and Social Security. And Social Security will tell the IRS that you received the funds, okay? But they know that's not enough for you to live off on to take care of yourself. So yes, your son can claim you as a dependent, and he just will file head of household, and then you don't need to file at all. Okay, you don't have to file at all if you don't want to. I do like my individuals who receive Social Security disability to file, even though they're not getting anything back. Your return's gonna be zero. The reason that, and when I say file, you're not gonna be able to e-file because the IRS is no longer letting people who have Social Security e-file. Okay, so what you're gonna have to do is somebody's gonna have to do your taxes, and then you're going to print them out, sign it, and mail it. And I'm going to tell you why. And I say this every single year. People are stealing your Social Security number. So if you are not going to be claimed by somebody else, like Mahalia, and you're receiving Social Security, and you by yourself, you need to do a paper copy and mail those in, even though you're not getting a refund, because you need your Social Security to be locked in the system so that nobody else can claim it. Now, it's crazy to say that, but it's very easy to get a hold of somebody's Social Security number. I can tell you right now, a website that I can go to that's for me to read books, but people don't know that they're uploading so much stuff on this site that they're sharing files, and they're sharing stuff that they don't mean to share. And I can type in I can type in IRS, and it will literally bring up old tax forms from 23, 22, old years. But it's the actual socials there, the name is there, the birth, I mean, nothing's blocked out. The birthday's not on there, but the personal information is there. So all it takes is somebody to take that Social Security number, create a CPN, you getting credit under your social for somebody else, and it's not you, and you would have been able to protect yourself had you filed taxes, because there are a lot of people that are coming over here now. Trump ain't sent nobody home yet. Okay, so there are people who coming over here that need a new identity, and you know what they do? They get paid under your social. A lot of them are not getting W-2 jobs; they're getting 1099 jobs. That way, they don't have to pay taxes. Okay, they're not going to be required to pay any right away, because 1099s are self-employed. You pay your own taxes, so they make money under your social. And then you thinking, oh well, I only receive Social Security. You're not even thinking about going to irs.gov. Mahalia, especially people who are on Social Security disability, y'all are the main ones to get caught up. Check that, create that account, and you check every year under wage and earning transcript. Okay, and you will see if anybody has submitted documents. The only thing, Mahalia, you should see is from Social Security. It'll say a 1098. That's the only thing you should see. But other people, they're finding other things in there. Some people are finding out they had jobs that they never worked. So if you don't want that to be you, you need to check irs.gov. Okay. And this is not to scare anybody. I'm just going to keep saying it until at least everybody that I'm talking to on here has done it, because you guys are getting played. Okay. And the IRS knows what's up. I was just talking to a girl today, and I said, look, the IRS is so slow that I could steal somebody's child Social Security number and file that child as my dependent, and I won't be found out or contacted by the IRS at least from 6 months to a year. That's a long ass time. And then if you are the actual parent, you may or may not receive your refund back from the IRS until they investigate, which can be forever, which means you might not even get paid. So we don't want that. Okay. Hey, Miss Cynthia. I'm glad you made it. Okay. Okay. So let me get to some truckers. All right. Because I know we got a lot of truck drivers that are probably here. And y'all on TikTok, if y'all know any truck drivers, y'all make sure y'all let them know this. I'm going to keep saying this too. All the truck drivers love to tell me that I'm not worried about if I owe on my taxes because I pay so much in fuel. The IRS does not reimburse you for fuel. They only reimburse you for mileage. Okay. And mileage is only 26, 27 cents a mile. So if you are somebody that's a truck driver, please do not think that your fuel charges are going to wipe out what you owe the IRS in taxes because you're not paying any. All right. That's just not going to fly. Okay. It never has and it never will. And if you go to a tax preparer who says, oh, don't worry, I'm going to do some write-offs and we're going to write off your fuel, you need to get up and run in the opposite direction because that person does not know what they're doing. Because you cannot write off fuel. You can only write off mileage. Okay. And that is, yes, yes, I absolutely can, Mahalia. I have no problem doing that. Yes, I can do your taxes. Trucker says, what's the best way to learn how to do taxes? So the best way to learn how to do taxes is, I mean, you can go on things like TurboTax because they walk you through it. But if you really want to know how to learn to do taxes, to me, I would say the best way to learn how to do it, because taxes is nothing but data entry. Let's just be real, okay? You're taking what somebody gave you and you're putting it in the computer. Where it becomes confusing is when it comes to write-offs, okay? Things that you can write off. When it comes to people who have Schedule C businesses, things like that. I would say play around with the tax software. You could do TurboTax. That's a great way to play around with it. Just know, don't submit it. If you don't feel comfortable, you don't think you did it right, don't submit it. But you can play around with it to get a feel of how to do it. Another thing that I like to personally do with y'all is bring me your tax papers. If you're somebody who has your taxes done and you're like, man, I don't understand nothing on here, bring me your tax paperwork and I will go through your tax form with you and tell you exactly what you are looking at. Because some of y'all don't even understand how the IRS even gets to the amount that they say you owe in taxes. Okay. I have taken lots of tax classes, and let me tell you, it is not an easy thing. The IRS does not make this easy for you to understand. Okay. When it comes to the brackets, whatever tax bracket you fall in, and then how they come up with the taxes, learning your taxable income versus your adjusted gross income, understanding when people, because, another thing you can do, I just thought about this. You can always volunteer to do taxes. VITA, VITA. They offer free taxes to elderly and earn under like $86,000. That is a great way to learn how to do taxes because you are going to do taxes you ain't never seen before. You're going to find people who are going to come in there with investments. You're going to find people going to come in there with retirement, pension. All kinds of things. And these are things that you may not be putting on your tax paperwork, but it will show you how to do other taxes. So that might be something that y'all might be interested in doing. I had my own VITA tax center where we did we put back at least $1 million back into the community because we saved people tons of money that they didn't know about. All these tax credits they didn't know about. Some were getting larger refunds. Some were finding out that the way they were doing taxes was just plain old wrong. But you can always go and volunteer. They'll give you a little class to teach you how to do it. And boom, you can have your own VITA, you can work at a VITA location. So that is something that you guys can do if y'all want to. The United Way they're the ones who do it. So all you have to do is just dial 211 and you can ask for your the local VITA, VITA, and then you call that location and you can tell them you want to volunteer and they will teach you and boom. Okay. And some people do get paid. All right. Thank you, Mariah Lynn. Okay, so another thing. Let's see. Mahalia says, can he claim you for previous years? He can claim you for previous years. Yes, he can. He will just have to go back and amend his taxes from single to head of household. So yes. So if y'all find out that something's not right, amend your taxes. Even if the IRS owes you money, at least you know you got money coming. Don't sit and let this money stay with them, because you see what they're gonna do. They're just gonna use that money to use it against you when you can use your own money. Okay. At this time, it's a little late for y'all to be adjusting your W-4, but I'm never gonna tell you not to. If you have gone, somebody told me that they went zero on their W-4. And they thought zero meant that take as much as you want, take as much taxes as you want. I'll just worry about getting my refund. That used to be the old way. Okay. Remember back in the day, we used to put one exemption or two exemptions. If I got 3 kids, I would put 3. But if you just wanted them to take a lot of money, you just put 0. And then when you filed your taxes, you would claim your kids and then you would get a big refund. Well, that's not like that anymore. If you guys have not noticed, and you should have, because it's been 4 years now, Trump's tax plan has been in effect the whole time we had Joe Biden. So the whole time we had the Biden administration, we were under Trump's tax plan. And now that Trump is coming back into the office, his tax plan is going to continue to stay, which means we're going to have it for another 5 years. Okay, because it's usually 5 years. They usually change on the 5th year. So we're going to have it to at least 20 let me see, 25, 20. We're going to have it at least until 2030. Okay. So your taxes should not change. So if you've been owing, you're going to still owe, unless you've changed your W-4 so that you can put down the amount that you are supposed to have taken out. The difference between the old W-4, where we had exemptions, and this new W-4 is that Trump doesn't want us to pay any more money to the government than we should. Okay. So he made his tax form where you can put the exact amount that you need taken out, so that at the end of the year, you do not get a refund. It still amazes me how many people don't understand that a refund is nothing more than the money you paid into the government that they've been holding for you. Now, if you have kids, you get money for them on the earned income. But anything over that, so I'll give you an example. Earned income is going to be for like one child, it's probably going to be like $3,600. Okay. If you got back $4,300, that means that $700 you overpaid the government, and that they've been holding for you, that you don't get any interest on, and they're giving it back to you plus your earned income credit. So Trump was saying, I want to eliminate people paying more than they need to. So we just want y'all to put the exact amount you're supposed to pay, and at the end of the year, you get nothing back. I personally, I'm not against that, because I don't live for my tax refund, but I understand that some people do. But I want you to know, if you have no children and you are not paying enough, and you have not changed that W-4 in the last few years, you are going to owe again. Okay. So already get in your head that you're going to owe. That is very important. Okay. So if y'all asking questions, please drop. I see you retracting some of them, Trucker Mom. Go ahead and ask them if you need. Okay, don't retract them. You probably got a good question for somebody. Okay, so and you guys here on TikTok, if y'all want to share, ask a question, please. I know y'all watching, and I know y'all gonna hit me up probably later. So ask the question. I ain't got to say your name, but ask a question about taxes, because I know y'all gonna have some later. Okay, but I did want y'all to know that Trump's tax plan is the same one. And if you owe before, you will be owing again. All right. So if you got kids, fine. Your kids, that earned income credit going to eat up some of the debt that you probably owe the IRS. But if you don't have any kids, it's going to be hard out there. Now, I know in the past, everybody's been using Schedule C, using your write-offs, saying you got a business, saying you are, I'm a barber, I'm a nurse, I'm a this. Well, I told you that's one of the top 5 things that the IRS has put into the system for that AI technology to review. So if that is you, you may fall into that return review program where they're going to be looking to see, how many years have you claimed this business, and how many years have you claimed a loss? That is one thing they are looking for that's very important. You cannot say you are a barber, okay, and every year you are negative $20,000. You ain't in business, sir, ma'am. You're not, okay? If you're going to start putting down Schedule C, and this is what I tell my people, if you're going to claim a Schedule C, and you want me to have some write-offs, you need to show me you made some income, because the IRS ain't going to come on me saying, hey, Shamika, how is it that every single person you have has a Schedule C and nobody owes? They're not falling for that. And I told you, they're not going to come to you right away. They're going to come to your tax preparer, and they're going to check that tax preparer's records and see everybody that they've done. Why? Because your EFIN or your P10 is on each preparer's tax form. Okay. And that's the next thing. If you're going to somebody and you're paying them to do your taxes, and they do your taxes in TurboTax, you need to run. Why? Because if anything goes wrong and you get audited, you can't blame it on anybody, because TurboTax is done for people who do their own. There is no block in TurboTax to add your preparer to pay them. Okay. So a lot of people will do your taxes in TurboTax, and they will charge you an exorbitant amount of money, because they don't care that they lied and put all these other things to boost up your return. Because once they get their money from you, they gone. You are the one left to hold the bag when somebody comes and asks you questions, because there's no P10, there's no ID number on your tax paperwork to tell the IRS that somebody else did it. So please do not just arbitrarily let your friend hook you up when they really gonna be setting you up. That is very, very important. Hey, love me more. So y'all, if nothing else, if you don't take nothing else from this conversation today, please make sure you're not paying somebody that's doing your taxes in TurboTax, because you will be looking crazy, because the IRS is definitely looking out for it. And y'all got to realize they're not even talking to y'all. I mean, when y'all call the IRS phone number, they're not even talking to y'all on the phone now. They now have a computerized system that will answer your questions, so that they can get through the stuff that they deem to be important. Because a lot of y'all call for 2 things: that letter for your IP pen, and to find out when your refund is coming. They don't need to talk to you to tell you the answers to either one of them. They have a computer system that'll tell you all that now. And so they are not even taking your calls. So, keep that in mind. All right. So a lot of this is going to computerize, which y'all ain't gonna like, but this is just what it is. And this is why I'm letting you know, Okay. Another thing that the IRS is doing, they are now using social media. The AI is using social media. So if you are talking on your social media, now I'm talking to tax preparers or anybody, if you are telling folks you're going to hook them up, or you're going to do some things, or you saying some stuff on your social media stuff that ain't right, they are going to use that against you. This is how you get into trouble, okay? And I'll send anybody the article that wants it, okay? But the article says the IRS knows when you are cheating on your taxes, and this is how. They do data analysis, which is the AI looking through the history of your taxes. The return review program, which is the one I told you, where they hold your taxes to verify that, hey, is this social right? Hey, is this your child? Did you mean to claim this person? Or they'll say, hey, according to our records, you made more money than what you put. Or did you mean to do that? Because you need to go and correct it. Okay. They will get you for that. Okay. How do you get a remote job with the IRS? You're going to have to apply on usajobs.com. Now it's .com. It used to be .gov, but usajobs.com. You can go and look. I don't know if y'all going to be staying remote. Okay. Government employees might be looking to go back to work. Okay. In the office. So if you're only trying to go work for the IRS so you can work at home, I would check real close to make sure that you're going to be able to stay at home, because telework is going to be a thing of the past. All right. Because the government is still paying to rent these buildings, even though nobody is in them. And I don't know if you guys have been looking, but Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy has been hired by Trump to create what is it called? Doge, DOGE, which is a new supposed to be a new arm of the government, where they're basically going to be looking to see where they can cut and slash and make the government leaner, which means they're going to try to cut positions. The government has already been leaned out. So if y'all want to get a government job, I ain't saying nothing wrong with it, but y'all need to make sure that this job is going to have some longevity, okay? And that you can stay at home, because a lot of these jobs, you ain't going to be able to do that, okay? Another thing they put that they're looking for to know how you cheat, they're going to be looking at Google Maps, and they're going to be looking at their individual master file database. So basically, that's for anybody who has a P10, anybody who has an EFIN. And if y'all want to know what those are, they're going to be looking at anybody that they issued those numbers out to. And if they've issued out these numbers to you, they already have your information, because you got to give them your address, your business address. If you put in your business address as your home address, not saying that that's wrong, but these are some of the indicators that they're going to look at and go, this person might be one of these people that's doing something to hook people up, and we might need to start looking at the taxes that they perform, okay? Even me saying the stuff I say on live, you think that they probably have never come across one of these videos to go, she giving them the game, or she might be doing something. Of course, this is what they do, okay? So be mindful of what you're posting, because they're going to be looking at that. All right. They also use the whistleblower program. And y'all know what whistleblower is. Basically, that's just somebody telling, that's somebody snitching. So if you're out here doing stuff you should not be doing, you better make sure that nobody else don't know it, because as soon as they tell, and the IRS does have an information referral program. It's one little form. If you know somebody's doing something wrong, all you got to do is put that information down as much as you know and submit it, and they will start an investigation. Okay, so even if you're doing it because you're just being nasty, even if the person ain't doing nothing, they're going to investigate. But if the person is doing something, they're still going to investigate. Okay, and then the other one is that's information sharing. Okay, basically, like I said, these government agencies, they talk to each other, especially if you are receiving any kind of money from Social Security. You receiving money from Social Security, it's automated. Don't even try to lie. Don't try to put something that you should not put, because they already know. And the way you're going to know is by having your account at irs.gov, so that you can look and see what they're saying about you. Y'all don't want to be like that guy that got that $47 million W-2 when it was really 47,000. Okay. Something as small as that will cause him to get audited. Okay. And that's not what he wants. And I know that's not what y'all want either. Okay. Just in case y'all want to know, and this happens every year, but I just want y'all to know that there is going to be the PATH Act, the PATH. So if you are claiming children, please don't think you're going to get that refund right away. You're not getting it until February. If at most late January, but February for the majority of y'all. Okay. The IRS always does taxes, refunds in batches. So you may be in the first batch, which means you might get through your check with your children on the 29th of January. Okay. But everybody else might get theirs February 14th. All right. Which happened last year. A lot of people got their money right before Valentine's, their refund right before Valentine's Day. Okay. I know, because I've been looking at all these love gifts on my timeline. All right. So that happens. Another thing that y'all probably did not know about is something called the dependent database. See, they got a lot of stuff going on that y'all do not know of, but there is a database that has who belongs to who. Okay. So I'm trying to, okay. So it says that this is when they put taxes to the side to verify that the Social Security numbers are right. I have had people where it's just husband and wife, and they held up their tax refund just to check to make sure, is this your spouse? They've been filing like this for years. You could just be randomly selected to go into this database. Basically, it's just like the return review program where they're holding your stuff to see. Do not expect for the tax refunds to come flowing in fast like they did in years past. As you see from last year, tax refunds were slow coming, and they're going to be slow coming this year and all the other years. Why? Because they have so many checks and balances they have to go through before they send you the refund. Ms. Lisa says, what's up with the PPP loan part of taxes? Well, at one time, the IRS was saying that if you had your PPP loan forgiven, you were supposed to put that on your taxes, on the tax form, but I've never seen a place to put it. So I don't even have individuals put that there. If the government wants to know if you got your refund, not refund, if you got your PPP loan forgiven, they can easily see it. The SBA can easily see it because the SBA is who is going to be asking the banks to send them information of who they have and who they have not forgiven. Okay. So I would not worry so much so about putting that on there. And I don't think anybody should be getting a PPP loan forgiveness at this time. All right. If you have not gotten your PPP loan forgiven, I don't know what you're going through. Okay. I think there's only one person. And I don't know if she's watching, but I will reach out to you because I did see your message. She got a PPP loan. We have searched every database. We cannot find her in there. Don't know how she was able to get this money if they also do not list her, okay? Which is weird, which is now meaning we have to go back to the bank who gave her the loan to find out who applied for it and what business name, because it's not coming up under the name that this person thought they should be paid under, all right? So, yeah, fraud goes with PPP loans still too. And anybody have an SBA loan? And somebody asked me this today, and I'm gonna keep telling y'all, if you have an SBA EIDL loan and you have not gotten on their payment plan, if you have not gotten on the their forbearance where they lower the amount or you don't have to pay for so many months, please know that you can throw your PPP, because it is an unsecured debt, and you can throw your SBA EIDL loan into a bankruptcy. It does not have to be a business bankruptcy. You can put it in a your personal bankruptcy. Why? Because Spirit Airlines is filing for bankruptcy. Well, they've already filed, okay? And I just talked to somebody today, and I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to keep saying it. If these people can file bankruptcy, these big companies can file bankruptcy, and bankruptcy protection is the correct terminology. If they can file for protection from their creditors by using the government, our good old Uncle Sam, to protect them, and they can still charge you to fly on their airline, you can protect yourself and wipe out your debt in the event you need to. Because a lot of people are holding on to strings, trying to keep these bills paid because your pride won't let you file for bankruptcy because you don't want to mess up credit that's already messed up, which makes no sense to me, okay? But if other people are doing it, y'all should look into it too, especially if you are struggling, or even if you ain't struggling. Even if you say, girl, I'm not late on one bill. I just know that my money is, it's tight. I'm not able to move around like I want to. Now I got to eat noodles, and I used to eat steak. I was eating crab, and now I'm over here with imitation crab. That's a big difference, okay? And that makes us feel the ways. And you do not have to suffer, people, by keeping yourself there because you're worried about how it looks or what you think somebody's going to say, or that you don't think your whole life is upended. Spirit Airlines didn't go out of business. Donald Trump still became president, and I keep telling you, he filed 5 times, okay? So please miss me with all the excuses. If you don't need to do it, don't do it. But if you need to do it, you do it. Can you put student loans into bankruptcy? You can, millennial. I talked about this the last couple of weeks. You can put your bankruptcy, you can put your student loans in bankruptcy, but there is an adversary form you have to have filled out, which is it's about 15 pages. But those 15 pages is nothing but you computing math to show the courts that even after you pay all your bills, and you factor in what you make and how much you got to pay in student loans, that you are going to be basically upside down or cannot afford it, you can absolutely put that into your bankruptcy. Okay. I have a form, and let me tell y'all, they are going to get rid of this form. This is why I'm glad I printed it. Okay. Because it is hidden on the Department of Justice website. Why would it be on the Department of Justice website when student loans has everything to do with the Department of Education? Because they don't want you to find it. Okay, but I have it. Okay, I will send you all the 15 pages if you need. And if y'all don't know, y'all know I prepare bankruptcy petitions because y'all don't always, not everybody needs to have an attorney. Okay, especially when when all y'all be having is just debt. You don't have to have a lawyer go speak up for you and say this person can't pay their bills. You can say it on your own. You don't need no help. Okay. Mahalia says, will an amendment trigger a red flag? It can trigger a red flag, but triggering a red flag for a desk audit and triggering a red flag to be audited, to me, are two different things. If you're correcting something on your taxes, you could fall into the return review program, which means the computer might look at it, and if the computer says it's good to go, it's good. But if the computer says, we need somebody to take a look, then a person will look at it. If it's truly messed up and the IRS gets involved, and now they're sending you letters and you got to lien, or, hey, you said you were going to pay us and you ain't pay us, and now this interest is adding up. Those things trigger large audits. At the end of the day, the bank, all they want is money. That is it. They ain't trying to put you in jail. They're not trying to they will put you in jail, but they are really just trying to get paid. Okay. Which is why I tell folks, I can look at somebody's taxes and go, girl, I already see you owe. Ain't no way you made $68,000 and you only paid $4,000 in taxes. You're going to owe, period. So unless you come to me with a kid, you coming to me with a business, and you earn some money, because we can't keep taking losses every year, then we're going to have an issue here. Okay. So, yes, they can trigger a desk audit, but it doesn't have to trigger the big audit. Well, now you got to come in and bring all your stuff and go sit down with there's two different types. Okay. So, it can, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be in trouble. You have the right to amend your taxes. You do. If it's not correct, you have the right to update it. And that's what they want you to do. Okay. Cynthia says, I forgot my password at ID Me. It sent me a reset password email. In the email, it tells me to check my code generator application and enter the 6-digit code to complete the sign in. What is that? So your code generator. So that could be several things. And Miss Cynthia, I may have to talk to you offline about that, because I don't want to get into, because some government programs have additional app, like you can download Microsoft Authenticator, and Microsoft Authenticator will send you a code. But I'm not sure if IRS uses Microsoft Authenticator. A lot of government programs do. What I would do, I would call the Federal Help Desk, and that's exactly what it's called, Federal Help Desk. I would call the Federal Help Desk, and you could mention to them about the ID Me and them sending you a code, because also some companies use the YouTube to give you a code. Sometimes they use Facebook to give you a code. And like I said, the Microsoft Authenticator, but ID Me usually doesn't use those. So I would call the Federal Help Desk, and they're usually open to 10 o'clock at night, and see what they say. Okay. All right. You say I filed 3 times and I recovered nicely. I know that's right. Good for you. Okay. Good for you, Miss Mahalia. All right. Let me see what y'all saying over here on TikTok real quick, because I sure didn't get to all my stuff. I'm telling you, this hour, no, it go by fast, but that's okay. I just want to see if y'all asking me anything. I tell y'all looking today and ain't asking. I'm trying to think what else has come across my desk. Let me see. Okay. Some of y'all are still trying to go back and file 2 and 3 years worth of taxes, and that is fine. But I'm just going to let you know, if you have not filed the last 3 years, you need to get on it, because like I said, the IRS site will be shut down. They always shut down for at least 30 days, especially during the holidays. So you will not be able to file. And then once we hit 2025, you have lost 1 year. So I have some people who are like, they still haven't gotten their stimulus. And I'm like, what you mean? That was from that's a long time ago. Okay. So if you haven't filed for the last 3 years, you need to go ahead on and get that in soon, preferably before the end of this week, because they're going to shut down, be doing maintenance, and it's going to be very minimal of what your tax preparer can do for you, which means you will not be able to do anything until the beginning of the year. And like I said, by that time, you can't file the 3rd year, because we're already into 2025. So then you'll only be stuck with 22, 23, 24. Okay. So if you want to do if you want to do 21, 22, and 23, you have to do that within this next week. Okay. But once we hit 2025, 21 drops off. All right. They're only going to let you do 3 years to get a refund. Now, if you haven't filed for the last 7 and you want to file all of them, fine. But know that they are not going to give you a refund for anything past 3. Very important to know. Okay. Thank you, Miss Cynthia. Let me know, please. Mahalia says, what's the name of the program where if you owe back taxes, but your current income is only Social Security forgiveness? Social Security. Okay. So if you want to do forgiveness because you don't make enough money and you owe, there is a program called non-collectible or uncollectible status. You could be in uncollectible status or non-collectible status. To the IRS, it's the same thing. Thank y'all for hitting the like button on TikTok. So basically, if you don't make enough money and you're not able to pay, you can fill out a 1-page application. You basically gonna, because look, you can't lie to them. They know your income because they see it, because they have to send in those 1099s. So if they see that, hey, the only thing this person is making is this Social Security, there's no way they're gonna be able to pay us back when they get $700 a month. So if that's you, and Mahalia, if you need me to send you the form, please send me a message on my email. I will send you that form tonight so that you can fill it out, turn it in. Very, very easy. And the IRS understands that you cannot pay, and they will put you in a non-collectible status until they see in your forms, in your wage and wage and earnings transcript section that you're making more money. So once you start making enough money that they feel you can pay, that stops. And then you're going to have to go back to paying them. But you can get out of it. So most people who are on Social Security disability are going to be on it forever. This is the time you get on that, so you do not have to pay any amount of money that you owe. And if you owe and you've never owed before, let me see, do I want to say owe? If you owe and you've never been audited before, no, I think you can owe. Let me take that back. If you owe money to the IRS and you've never been audited, and you find that they're hitting you with fines and penalties, you can do what is called a penalty abatement. And that is just a form where you say, hey, I ain't never been in trouble with y'all before. Is it possible for y'all to remove all of these fees and fines and just let me pay the principal? They will make the determination if that's a yes or a no, but they can remove that. Okay. And another thing before I go, husbands and wives. Okay. Husbands and wives. This is what I'm talking to. Y'all are not going to be able to continue to get away with one person filing head of household and the other person filing single. The only way you're going to be able to get away with doing that is they're not checking your marriage status, which right now they have not really found a way to do that. But the other way is make sure y'all using separate addresses. I don't know how many times I have to tell y'all, stop saying y'all separated, but y'all using the same address on your tax paperwork. You're automatically asking for that AI system to go red flag, red flag. Okay. So you're going to have to, the correct way to do it is head of household, married filing separate. But I know that people who do married filing separate, they are the ones who usually get stuck with owing. Okay. The person who's doing the head of household don't have to worry about it because they got kids. But the person who does married filing separate usually gets stuck owing. Okay. So I know your tax preparer say file single. That's fine. It's not correct, but that's fine. But make sure you're using a separate address, because that is how y'all get caught up, by doing stupid small mistakes like that. And I'm telling you, there's not a person looking at this. This is going to be a computer. Okay. They've been trying it out, but now this year it's a computer. We do not want the computer telling on us. Okay. John says, how do you feel about personal credit card stacking? Can you give a brief explanation? Is freezing your credit a step in the process or not? Okay, so credit card stacking, John, are you talking about authorized user credit stacking, or are you talking about people who get multiple credit cards from one place and they mostly use them for travel points? Let me know which one, okay? Because credit card stacking can mean a lot of different things depending on which YouTuber you heard it from, all right? So let me know, and then I will answer that, all right? Let me see if y'all asking me anything over here on TikTok. So y'all ain't asking nothing now, but I know y'all will, okay? It says, do you have to file if you're getting Yes, you should file, Native. I just talked about this a little bit ago. And the reason you should file is because you don't want anybody to, you don't want anybody to steal your social security number and you don't know about it. And the only way you're going to know about it is you're going to have to file taxes. You can't e-file it because you don't have any taxes taken out. So the IRS the system's gonna go, well, what you filing for? You ain't nothing coming out. You can do a paper filing. The person can prepare your taxes in the system, they can put it in, and then they can print it out. You sign it and send it in. Unfortunately, the IRS has not found a good way to protect people who receive Social Security disability when they file their taxes. They're not finding a way to prevent your social from being stolen, because again, people can come from another country. They can use your Social Security number and get paid under your Social Security number and have documents sent to your IRS file, a W-2 or all this, and it's not even you. So if you want to make sure that nobody's receiving money under you, always file, even if it's just the paper copy, okay? So I strongly suggest that you do, all right? Okay, so a person getting multiple credit cards. All right, so just a little brief thing. A lot of people do this when they want like travel points, okay? So, but a lot of banks, credit card companies are cracking down on that. So a lot of people used to go and get 4 and 5 credit cards from the same company. They're different ones. So say, for example, Navy Federal. Navy Federal has the green, the black, the blue. You know, they got different color cards, right? Which means they're different. One's platinum, one's premier. They might be all these different names. A lot of people will get these credit cards, and they will, well, of course, they will call it stacking. And I'm gonna let me get the appropriate definition for you so I can make sure that I'm giving this to you right. Oh, another thing too, before I go, y'all need to make sure that if y'all have done y'all BOI, and that is your business ownership interest form. That is very, very important. I'm telling you, they're going to hit y'all with these $500 fines daily if you don't have it done by January. Okay? So get them done right now. Okay? It's very easy. If you don't know how to do it, I'll help you do it. It takes 2 minutes. All you need is your name, your business name, and the business address. That's it. Okay? So credit stacking it says it refers to building multiple lines of credit in a specific order to obtain large lines of credit. All right, so let me keep going. Let me find another one. Let me see. I want to find a great way to explain this because it might be hard for some people. Hold on. See, people use it for different ways. Me personally, I don't think credit card stacking is bad. Okay, I'm gonna just tell y'all what to do with it. Okay, and no, John, I don't think you have to necessarily freeze your credit to get credit stacking. Basically, most people do credit card stacking because they are trying to get a lot of money off of their cards. If you get credit cards and you are approved for them, however you get that money off your cards is your business. You just have to make sure you pay these folks back. Okay. And a lot of people do use credit card stacking for the travel points. They will go and get a lot. They'll use them so they can rack up all these points, and they may add other people like authorized users. But a lot of banks now are only limiting you to so many of their cards. It's called a product. So if they got 4 cards available, they may not let you get all 4 anymore because they consider that to be cheating. They will say you can only get 2. And the only way you can get the other 2 is you got to cancel one of the 2 that you already have. So I would not freeze my credit to do stacking, because when you freeze your credit and you try to apply for credit, it's going to deny you because they can't approve you. Now, you do have a greater chance of getting more approvals if you are reapplying with the same bank that you already have credit with now. So say you go through American Express. American Express got a bunch of different accounts. If American Express sees you're doing this one card good and you've been with them a long time, when you apply, yeah, they're going to do a credit check, but you have a higher chance of being approved for it than you would maybe Chase, because you already have a relationship with them. So I would never freeze your credit. I would strongly suggest, if y'all just trying to get cash, get the card, find your creative way to pull the cash off that card. Hopefully you're going to pay it. Most people don't. I'm just telling the truth. Most people do not. They just let it go into default. But that's basically how you would get your money, because it's easier to get money from a credit card than it is to go in the bank and ask for a loan. And that's just facts. Okay. Because with a credit card and a loan, there's no collateral, unfortunately. But banks feel that they don't believe that people are smart enough to find ways to pull money off their card without doing a cash advance. You do a cash advance, you're going to be stuck at 30% interest. It's going to be ridiculously high. And then they charge you a fee or a fine. So you could do what I was telling you guys about doing the invoice, bill yourself, or have somebody bill you. Throw them a couple dollars because they're helping you out. That's the easiest way to get your money off. Okay. Mahalia says, I know someone who found out that someone was using his social when he went to apply for unemployment. Okay. Enough said, man. This is why I tell all my people who have Social Security, whether you want to file or not, file, because you will be surprised who is using your social because you're not. And most people on Social Security disability ain't out applying for credit cards because they own a fixed income. But to a scammer, you are a prized possession. You are a fat stuffed pig. That is what they want. Okay. So if you are receiving Social Security disability, and I hate to say this, but this is even for your kids. If your children are on Social Security disability and they get a check, they're not using that social, 9 out of 10, you're going to add them on to your taxes. But say the mama and the child receiving Social Security. I know some people like that. Neither one of them file. Them 2 Social Security numbers up for sale. Okay. And yes, people who sell CPNs are definitely using other people's information that is not being used. And this is why so much damn identity theft out there. Okay. So much. So we got to make sure that that's not happening. Okay. So it's definitely over 8 o'clock. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. So I'm going to just do my rundown like I always do. If you have not done your business ownership interest form, that is for anybody that has a business, whether you just opened it yesterday or 2 years ago. You need to fill that out so you are not being fined. They are not playing about that. I know I didn't talk about this, but so far it is still in the works. If you have any business cash apps, Venmo, that's a business. Cash App, that's a business. Any of those, they will be sending the 1099-Ks into the government if you receive more than $5,000. Now, if y'all have been following me for years, y'all would have saw how it used to be $20,000 and it was never reported. So you used to be able to make a bank, because there's so many cash apps out there. You could get $20,000 and never had to report it. But now they've lowered it to $5,000. So now you can still get some money, but not that much. So if you make $4,998 on one, you need to stop right there and now start using another cash app, because anything under $5,000 is not reported. Anything over $5,000 is reported. So that means you can still do what I was telling people to do back in the day when it was $20,000. You're just going to have to hop around a little bit more often, because now the number is so low. Okay, so that means you can start off using the business cash app and go, ooh, I'm at $4,998. Now I'm going to move over here to Square. Okay, now I'm got $4,998. Now I'm going to go over here to PayPal. You definitely can hop around. They only report at $5,000. Okay. Also, if you have not done anything with your student loans, please do. I am really trying to help y'all not go into this new year with all this debt y'all carrying. And if you need to consider or even think about filing for bankruptcy, please reach out to me. It is not that difficult. It is not embarrassing. It is not hard. And some of y'all need to do it. Okay. And last but not least, taxes are going to be the exact same as years prior, at least the last 4 years. So if you owed before, you will owe again. If you got questions about anything that I talked about here tonight, send me a message, text me, call me, email me, book an appointment. Well, you can't book an appointment because something's wrong on the site. Thank y'all for who brought that to my attention. Joseph Ken said, is there a way to look up if someone has an active warrant? Ooh, if somebody has an active warrant, you absolutely can look it up. Every county has a warrant, whether it's a warrant hotline or whether it's online. You'll have to see what your county has, but they absolutely do have a way that you can look up to see if somebody has an active warrant. If you want to talk to me offline, not in the TikTok messages, because I never check them, but I will go and find that site for you and send it to you if you need. But yes, you can absolutely do that. People so nosy. Okay. Because I'm telling you, everything is online now. And in 2 weeks, if y'all need that cash advance for Christmas, you can go to your tax preparer or holler at me. Okay. You can get you a cash advance as long as that credit is decent of $500 so y'all can at least go and buy these kids some gifts. Okay. Although I think y'all need to give them the gift of giving them a business so that they can have a business that's 20 years old so they can turn around and sell it later. But that's just me, okay? The kids may not understand that. They're going to want a toy versus a business. But if you got a child that's smart enough to see that, this is a long-term investment, we might be able to talk about that, okay? So I will see you guys next Monday. It is $5K, not per transactions, just so I be clear. Good question, Mahalia. If you're going to use the Cash Apps, it is $5,000 per merchant. So you can't go over $5,000 in PayPal. You can't go over $5,000 in Cash App. You can't go over $5,000 in Venmo. These are only for people with businesses. If you go over that, they're going to turn that in. They have not yet specified if they're going to do that for personal accounts, because last year it was personal and business, but so far they have only decided on business Cash Apps, not personal. But if that changes, y'all know I'm gonna let y'all know. Okay, so I will see you guys next Monday. Hit me up if y'all got any questions. Can we talk about it? Yes, we can, Mahel. You just remind me. I'll bring it up and let you guys know why I think that's a great idea for you guys to give your kids businesses as a gift versus giving them other gifts. Okay. And it says what the credit score you have to get the advance. You at least need a 580, a strong 580. Okay. And I know that's kind of hard because that's low, but if you got a 580 and you got a whole bunch of collections, they're not going to give you no money. But if you got 580, and it's because you just need to do a couple things to boost your score, you may have like 1 or 2 collections and they medical, it's different. But I'm going to say 580, no lower than that. They're going to try to at least keep it up with the same requirements as the government does. The government will sell you a house at 580. Banks will give you a cash advance on the 582. Okay. All right. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Enjoy. I will be available. Send me a message. We can talk. God bless you guys. And I will see you. Is that money is for whatever you want. If you get a cash, if you get the Christmas loan, you could use it for whatever you want. It's just an advance on your tax refund. It's just going to be $500 you can use to buy gifts before the tax season actually starts. And then it's deducted from whatever your refund is going to be at tax time. Okay. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I will see you guys later. Send me a message if you need anything. I am now going to toast up and drink and have a good one. And y'all have a good one too. Bye. See y'all later. Thank y'all for being here. Bye.